Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you very much for tuning into Jack Mac LFC. I'm joined by two very special guests, Ricky and Kev. You know the lads anyway. Shocking, absolutely disgusting, disgraceful chat. First and foremost, we're more bothered about what you all think. Hit that subscribe button down below as well. Massive support on the live stream watch along this morning. Disappointing, angry, pent up emotion, quite rightly so. Liverpool off the back of slapping Manchester United. The mentality is absolutely in the gutter this season. And we'll start with the mentality first and foremost, Kev. Thank you very much for joining me, mate. And
No
shall let us know. The mentality is an absolute disgrace, in all honesty. But we've seen it. The City game a couple of months ago, the writing's been on the wall for Liverpool first and foremost this season, mate. But it's shocking, the mentality.
It has been, yeah. It's like they turned up expecting to win after the result last week and then just decided, we're still not going to put in the effort because it's going to come eventually. And it didn't. And then when we started controlling the game late in the second half, it was too late. They'd already put the ladder, as I call it, the blocking ladder up the middle of the park where they were just forcing us to go to the wings all the entire time. And we couldn't get anything through the middle of the park. Against you, that's okay against teams like Man City, against your Real Madrid, against your Manchester, when you're playing it out and you have to play possession football and look for your opportunities. This is Bournemouth. From the off, we should have been passing through the middle of them and having lads like Harvey Elliott and Gakpo sitting there receiving the ball, creating space for Salah and Nunes, and any runners that were coming onto it. It was just poor. It's the mentality is poor from the outset. Like you'd say, you show every team respect, but I'm sorry, Bournemouth at the bottom of the league. There's a reason why they're down there because they get beat it almost every week. No, they've come along in the last couple of weeks and done well, to try and pull themselves out of relegation, but they're still at the bottom of the league. And with the form that we've been on, with 13 points out of 15 in those last few games, we should have been passing through them and not giving them respect and passing around them. We should have been going for it or crossing it in early, anything at all. I just didn't see it. The mentality, the heads were dropped.
Yeah, we spoke about this last night, Kev. Every Liverpool fan around the world, we're putting no quality into the box, and we'll get to that. No. But Ricky, you've probably been on the money the majority of this season, mate. And everyone's like, oh, get this season over and done with, in all honesty, Ricky. But if Liverpool don't change something this season in terms of the psychological game, as Kev's alluded to, Bournemouth are there for a reason. But we've all watched plenty of football games, in all honesty. Football's not as simple. You can't be expected just to rock up to Bournemouth, Rick, and expect to win. That's shocking.
This team, I don't know who they think they are.
Big up, Chaz.
When they go to these sort of teams, they're not as good as they think they are. Certain players are not good enough. We need 8 players. I think only one person can walk off that pitch with his head held high today, which was Konate at the back, because the amount of babysitting he had to do for Trent again in this game.
And Van Dijk as well.
Van Dijk was horrific. I've seen people put on social media that he weren't as bad as people thought. He was dreadful. I mean, that's the worst I've seen Virgil van Dijk play. The arrogancy, the laziness.
But that's been there all season, Rick, hasn't it? Like
the whole team, the whole team is horrific. We keep playing Harvey Elliott as a centre midfielder. He's not a centre midfielder. Let's get that. If every Tom, Dick, and Harry can see it, but Klopp and his dopey backroom staff can't see it, it is mind-boggling. Robertson was shocking. The whole back line was shocking.
Robert, we'll start. Obviously, you're jumping bloody ahead of the gun there early. It was probably analyse order, but Robinson, even in terms of when we were 25 minutes in, we all know 25 minutes in, we've done exactly what we've done against Real Madrid, didn't we, Rick, in relation. Even Robinson, we got into so many great opportunities. I think we started the game well, but as we've said, the mentality, it absolutely stinks shockingly. We've got the mentality of when we don't get our way in seasons this season, we've got the mentality of a bottom 3 team. In all honesty, it absolutely stinks the place out. And for me, and Ricky's alluded to Virgil van Dijk, and I've said it, for me, I was doing that watch along tonight, this afternoon, and mainly at him, mate. Kev, he's the captain of Liverpool Football Club. And as Ricky alluded to, Van Dijk had 2 excellent opportunities in that opening 45-minute period where he absolutely bottled it. As Ricky's alluded to, he just switched on. Like, fair enough, it could have been flipped on the game on its head, but Van Dijk, he's the captain of Liverpool Football Club, and he can't be asked to jog. What are you doing? I thought that was Harry Maguire in disguise, in all honesty, mate, today. Because if that was Harry Maguire, you could have more or less replaced Virgil van Dijk with Harry Maguire. And Van Dijk, he's not above criticism. He deserves criticism. And this season, yes, we spoke, as Ricky alluded to, this Liverpool team's not good enough, been good enough. It's all right turning up against the big boys, but not just for this season. It's about building and elevating and trying to build kind of confidence. But the mentality stinks the place out.
Yeah. For me, look, we leave him off at the first opportunity. He was cleared off the line by your man that was there anyway. And but for me, sorry, my dog is going nuts. There's somebody at the door. But I leave Rick take this one. I'll come back and finish off my part.
Yeah, Ricky, it's
embarrassing. Like I said, I don't know.
What do you put that down to? I've asked you so many times. Well, we've all asked each other. What do you put that down to? Like, why is there an inability to really just focus in the key moments for you?
It's because they think they're better than what they are. Let's be honest, some of these players are mediocre. We turned up with two kids in midfield that we thought we could bully Bournemouth with, and they got absolutely schooled. They look like kids in their midfield today. Fabinho again looked half-assed. Van Dijk, it's like if someone tries to make Van Dijk sprint, he just stops and watches, and then had the audacity to blame others. I blame Trent for the goal as well as Van Dijk, but Van Dijk, the way he turned around, he's supposed to be captain of the football club, he turned around, throwing his arms in the air. Like, what's going on?
It's disappointing, mate. And big up there, Zuki. Big up, chat. Keep on getting your comments in. We're more interested in what you all think. Hit that subscribe button down below, please, mods. Can you put in Ricky and Kev's channel links in the description as well? Hey, mods. Sad day for us all, though. Big up there, Everest. And Kev, that's the most disappointing thing. And chat as well. You've got, a 4.5, 5 hour journey for all the away fans, all the fans around the world that have got up at early hours as well, or late night, wherever everyone's watching around the globe. And the players are putting in a performance like a team down there in the relegation zone. Like, Bournemouth turned up today like they had a Champions League spot up for grabs and they were vying for it. And yes, you can talk about the creativity from Liverpool was great against Manchester United, but it's great when you're playing against the poor Manchester United when they're playing that well. It's all like it's sound for us fans, but it's not sound when it's the players and they're putting in performances like that. Really, like, what disappointed you? As you said, I want to Van Dijk. He obviously had two gilt-edged opportunities. Yes, as you alluded to, Kev, one cleared off the line, but it was the second one
I was going to get into.
Second chance opportunity. Really, that stinks the place out. In reality, you've got his reaction when Van Dijk. I'm sorry, Virgil, but you should be putting that in the back of the net. He's free at the back post.
He's free at the back post. He has all the chance in the world. He makes a mistake, and then he turns around and looking to blame somebody. And it was his fault. 100 million%. It was a great ball in. Verge was bad today, especially for the goal. As Ricky alluded to there, when the ball went up the outside, Robertson was already out of position because he's always going to be up the park. So is Trent in these situations when we're getting countered. But Verge had to show your man to the flag. Had to. He can't leave him step past him. Even if anything, step in with him. Don't step up to him and do that. Step across him and block him.
I was sarcastically cheering him in the second half, Kev and chat. He done it in the second half.
Yeah.
He done exactly what he should have done in terms of that transition.
Yeah.
Like,
it was great. When wait, where were you all? I said the same thing. Where was that all game, Verge? He was sitting there when he saw your man out to the byline, and that was it. He was done. Fantastic defending, and that was it done. But where was that all game, you know? And he just, as usual, alluded to there, Jack. He's not running, and I don't understand why he's not running when he's tracking back, because he's one of the best strides in the game. He didn't need to be fast. He just had a great stride, and it's like he's just not. He hasn't got it back, or he hasn't developed yet. And I've noticed it over the last season or so. He hasn't. Yeah.
The era of Van Dijk's aura is well and truly gone. Because, Ricky, you've got centre halves and you've got teams pumping balls in behind Liverpool's back line. it's great when the high line, but you had Van Dijk, and I'm sorry to give on, but he was the captain of Liverpool Football Club today. And Ricky, I don't know if you picked up on it and chat. You had Hendo on the bench there, looking. I think that it was almost perfectly. The camera panned as soon as Van Dijk made that error, panned to the bench, and you've got Henderson giving the death stare to Jurgen Klopp to say, "What was that?" And I'm hoping to God Hendo went into that changing room at half time, and a couple of the players. I don't know why Virgil van Dijk's got the captaincy. Andy Robbo should have the captaincy, not Virgil van Dijk.
I don't think any of them should have the armband. I think they're all cowards. They are all cowards when Henderson's not on the pitch as a captain. It's probably one of the worst bit of defending that I've ever seen from a centre half. First of all, we keep playing this stupid high line when you see from minute 1, they've got him minute 5, they've got him behind us a few times already with that ball over the top or the through ball because our midfield and defence inability to communicate between each other. But every time you have to let the same thing happen to learn from it and then stop it, drop 5 yards deeper, 10 yards deeper.
I'm going into that window, Ricky, going for the centre half first and foremost.
Yeah.
Like we spoke about Gavardio. I'd go to Leipzig and go 70, 80 million right there. Because,
mate, for me, it's going to sound, I'll probably get clipped, whatnot. Van Dijk needs to go in the summer. He's done. I think Van Dijk's finished.
I think in the system, as you alluded to, the high line, fair enough, it was Van Dijk pre-injury, pre the Everton injury, 2-3 years ago. Like, as you said, that's what Liverpool thrived on. And even today, and even the key point is we can do it. But if Van Dijk's mentality, and first and foremost, if he, you're spot on there. No, well, it's spot on, Ricky. And I've said to you before we come in here, Liverpool seriously need to be evaluating Virgil van Dijk's performances this season. And I'm hoping they are, in all honesty, because for where Liverpool want to be and for where Liverpool want to be in terms of next season and the years to come, unless Virgil van Dijk doesn't buck up his ideas quickly this season, he's a million miles away, not just him, but certain players in this team. And there's going to be, we all know, there's been arguments behind closed doors this season. You had Pep Lijnders cancelling press releases of his book and not turning up for the press release. The books are fading, but everything is stayed upon this season. And I tell you what, and I said on my watch long, I think Liverpool will get top 4.
No,
but
not a chance, lad.
If we drop a couple more performances like we did today in the Forest games, it's going to be a case in point of if Liverpool don't capitalise on the drop points this season, the back end of this season, then
have you not seen our next 4?
Well, games? Yeah. Well, we got it. Was it Chelsea, City?
So Chelsea, Arsenal, City, Spurs. We're getting 0 points, lad. Arsenal coming to Anfield and they're going to fucking beat us. Sorry. Etihad, we're going to get absolutely spanked all over the show. Yeah. Chelsea away. Chelsea don't concede a lot of goals. They're going to beat us at Stamford Bridge. We'll beat Spurs because it's Spurs.
Spursy.
But we're not getting top 4. Like, you've got Brighton behind us with 2 games in hand. I think they're only 3 points off us. You've got 13 games left, I believe it is, of the season. We're not getting top 4. We beat the Manx last week, and all of a sudden we turned out thinking we're prime Galactico Real Madrid era again. And we got reality check today. We got humbled. We've been humbled quite a few times this season. Forest away, Bournemouth away. We don't learn from our mistakes. And Trent Alexander-Arnold, if we do go to a change of system next season, that kid is in trouble. Because if we don't move him to DM or centre midfielder, his career is going to be near enough over because he can't defend. He's a fullback. The amount of times poor Konate had to dive on the floor just to try and cover Trent in this game. And we rely heavily on Trent's great passing. But when he's got no great passing in the game and he keeps giving the ball away, what does Trent offer in the game? Ball walking around sulking.
It's a great point Ricky's alluded to there, Kev. We'll get to everyone's comments as well in relation to, that's the thing, when Liverpool were playing against a low block, Trent's get, and if I was an opposition team, and we've seen it already, lads, in chat, if you shut down Trent's ability to cross a ball down that right-hand side, if you shut down Robbo down that left, Liverpool's lack of creativity in the middle of the park, especially if it's not a young Elliott or it's another player in that midfield that's having a good game. Like, if you stop the supply line to Liverpool's forward line, easiest day. But we get to Everest. Despite the penalty, sorry, Nick, I was going through all these comments. Despite the penalty, I don't think we should even be drawn that, let alone lost. Our title of mentality monsters is fading away. I just hope that we can bounce back and get. It's a massive if Everest, as Ricky alluded to. Ricky, I think a lot of people will agree with Ricky, but as I said, Ricky's probably going to be saying to me at the end of the season, told you, lad. And he will be. He said that plenty of occasions this season. Mate, he's like, I knew we'd get beat. Talio, Gary, big up, chat. Big up to every single one of you. Make sure you are smashing that like button as well. Hit that subscribe button down below. We've got plenty of shows to come anyway. Talio, Gary. Why have our players started declining at such an early age? I've seen older players in other teams and leagues tear their opponents apart with their magical performances. Probably down to the fitness regime. I'd give it Everest. As I said, this core of Liverpool's team has fundamentally been ran into a bloody brick wall for the best part of the last 3-4 year period. And yeah, that's all I put it down to, mates. Virgil van Dijk. I'd disagree there, Zuki, and I think a lot of people would, but fair enough, mates. It's probably one of the worst performances I've seen Virgil van Dijk. Well, Liverpool's back line in recent weeks. Disappointing, lads. Hope you're all good. Big up there, Panov. Hope you're well, mate. Disappointing. And as I said, that's what I was doing. I should have really titled it. We're disappointed, but we are not surprised. Did he change the midfield? Only one slight change, Zuki. Surprise, surprise. He's only changed one, Kev. One player in that team. I'm sorry, but changing one player in that system shouldn't fundamentally floor the team.
No, it shouldn't. I think they got it wrong with the fact that they should have realised that when they're playing a team that's lower than the top 6 teams, that they're going to block the midfield big time to the defence, and you're going to be sitting there pretty much with a backwards arrow coming out at you, and they're going to cut off the supply to Salah, they're going to cut off the supply to Trent, they're going to cut off the supply to Robertson. And as I said from the start, the only way to do that is to pass through the middle of the park and force their wing backs and force their centre backs to pull into the middle even further. Because what they're doing is that they're flattening the back line, and then they're just piling the midfield, which means they've got cover on all sides. But if you start dragging in their back line towards the midfield and compacting it a bit more, then you create the space for Trent and Robbo to be able to cross balls. But they weren't doing that today. We weren't doing it. We didn't read it. I read it after 10 minutes. I don't know how Klopp and the lads haven't read it after 10 minutes. If you're not going to cross, if you can't get up the ball, you're not going to cross, at least get it into a position where you cause them hassle. This passing back and along the line all the time shouldn't be happening against teams like Bournemouth. We should be passing through the middle of them, and then if 4 out of 6 times it'll get through and it'll play, but the other times we win it, we gig and press, we win it back and we do it. But none of the lads were pressing. There was no pressing game going on when we were getting countered. It should have been done a long time ago. Salah was completely out of the game. He should have been taken off. At least Nunez and Gakpo were doing some sort of fight. Gakpo's a fantastic, he's a strong player. He can only do so much with the balls that have been given.
You can only do, our attackers can only do so much when you've got 5 defenders in front of them.
Yeah, it was just poor today. Elliott was running around like a headless chicken. Even though he's trying, he was having no impact whatsoever.
But that stems to what we've been all saying. We're relying on kids to actually get us out of the mire this season.
It's something drastic needs to change, and learning how to pass through. But like we did it against United last week, we passed through them instead of going out wide, and that created a space for the lads out wide. But instead, we were constantly going, they packed the midfield, but man, Harvey, Jesus, Gakpo, Nunes, pull in a bit, just come into the centre, force them to release the space for Robbo and Trent. And then you're talking about, okay, now they're all compact in a block in the middle. Now we can play around them. They'll keep moving back out, but then they're going to lose their shape eventually. We didn't do that. We kept playing into their hands and playing the ball right in front of them. And then the ball had to come all the way back, and it's just been passed around the back line, really. And it's poor, really, and Ibu had a lot to do in his hands. That he had a lot to do.
Sorry, Ricky, keep that point. What you're going to mention there, mate. I'll get to you in a sec. Just going to rattle through all these comments. Virgil was very good in the second half, but he was off in the first. Thing is, Lalu, like we've seen this season, it's all right having good first 45 minutes, but at the end of the day, that led to Liverpool losing. That back line, that performance. Football's a 90-minute game, as we all know. Like, you can't be playing in spells if you want to go for a league. So big up there to us as well. It is Arsenal side. So when we won the league as well, you even if Liverpool went behind, some of Arsenal last week, you know a team, when they've got that momentum behind them, they'll eventually come into the game. And even when Liverpool did miss that penalty, I knew for the fact Liverpool would do exactly what they did on the watch-along. And I said, we'll do nothing for 20 minutes. It'll be a case of, Salah's missed, and then the foot will go off the gas anyway. Even prior to getting that opportunity, I don't think we'd still be playing for another 20 years, Liverpool against Bournemouth tonight. And we wouldn't score at the end of the day. But yeah, big up, poor performances, them all. Much needed points wasted again. Alan, big up, mates. Virgil van Dijk Virgil van Dijk getting wasn't that bad. He took a stumble for that goal, but it slowed him. I'm sorry, Alan. I respect your opinion, mate. And obviously, we agree and disagree on a lot of points. That's the thing, isn't it, mate? But for me, he's done that plenty of occasions over the last 12 months, and it's quite frankly, I'm not blaming it, putting it down to a stumble. He still had time to recover and cover that 5-6 yards of space in between that goal. Like, he couldn't be asked running back for me, Alan. But I'm saying to respect your opinion, mate. Van Dijk getting too much blame for me, he isn't, mate. He's the captain of Liverpool Football Club in the first 45 minutes. All those fans have travelled 5 hours, the majority of them, to get to Bournemouth. That is not one easy travel. It's, Ricky, it's one of the furthest points in bloody Britain, isn't it? In England.
On the south coast.
Bottom left, isn't it?
Yes. Southampton way, Portsmouth is that way down.
Yeah, disappointing, mate. Hey there, but hopefully you've still got your point there, Ricky. Get back to you in a sec, mate. Hey there, Mark. It seems that there are only mods who can put the channels in this. But yeah, I'll try and sort that there, Panov, but appreciate that, Panov. Absolute legends. Some people shouldn't be given the pressure to captain the team. They should just do their job as assistant, not their leader. As Gary's agreeing with you there, Ricky. Endo did nothing. He's never does when we are losing. Plus, how many games did we play? It's the thing, though, Alan. We're going to be playing the blame game till the cows come home, really. Till now and the end of the season, really. It's missed opportunity as well. Madrid away, City, Chelsea, and away. I thought it was safe to take a trip into Dublin this morning. Surely an easy win. I couldn't believe it. Big up there, Eamon. So, far from the Reds. Hope you have a good weekend, mate. But Ricky, go back to your point that you were going to make, mate. Apologies.
Can we talk about how 350 was still... He played the whole 90 minutes? I mean...
It's definitely in his contract that he has to play, doesn't he? 90 minutes.
When are we dropping Mo Salah from the starting 11? I get it. Man United, it was a massive game. He turned up. I expect Mo Salah to turn up against Man United, but I also expect him to turn up against Bournemouth away. We played with 10 men, or you can say 9.5 men today for certain parts of the game. How we took Darwin Núñez off and left Mo Salah on that pitch, I'll never know. It's like Liverpool are such a broke club that we try to get every penny out of that $350 a week that we give Mo Salah. Should have been nowhere near that penalty for him to take it when James Milner was on the pitch.
He didn't look confident to me, Rick. I knew exactly he was going to miss.
Mo Salah's not the best finisher, and to allow him to take a penalty that he relies on smashing a lot of his penalties in the net, when you've got someone in James Milner who don't miss penalties, who's very composed in front of goal when it comes to penalties, on the pitch at the time, knowing you need a goal to get back into the game.
Was Milner on the pitch?
Yeah, Milner was on the pitch. He was at right back. I mean, and then he had and we left him on. We took Darwin Núñez off. We brought Bobby, unfinished Firmino on, who did nothing. Jota looks a shadow. I get he's been out for a long while, but the commentator said he hasn't scored in 27 games.
Lads, and chat, we had about 6 attackers on, but we couldn't do nothing with the ball.
I liked it when we went the formation change in the 2 in midfield.
Yeah, 4-2-3-1.
But you took the wrong man off. You took the wrong man off to do it. You took Darwin Núñez off, who's got frightening pace, who ended up making, Brad Smith at right back go off injured because he was running all game after Darwin Núñez. But their left back must have been thinking, yeah, I'm chilling today because nonsense at right wing gets to play another 90 minutes.
That goes to show as well. Keep on getting your comments in. We'll get to all of them as well. Big up there, Aaron, as well, matey. Absolute legends. Let me know your thoughts. And everyone, by the way, I'm fuming. Yeah, 100%. Aaron, we all are, mate. You know us. Anyway, mate, you probably watch me on the watch along as well. And obviously, pent up emotion. And as I said in my watch along, I honestly hope. And those players deserve to actually walk all the way back to Anfield, in all honesty, because that performance was not good.
Do you know when our next league game is?
2 weeks. Yeah,
1st of April.
Yeah, so like that's we said
hopefully with Luis Diaz back. Luis Diaz should be back then, and Mo Salah can sit his ass on the bench for a little while.
But the thing is, though, boys, we're going to be spending 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks.
3 weeks. Yeah,
and we're going to be doing no tactical.
Oh no, we did it when we went to Dubai.
Yeah, even in the World Cup, what did we do tactically? Like, we should be spending the next 2.5 weeks actually, first and foremost, getting that high line. If we want to continue playing the high line, get it absolutely spot on. And we should be analysing the flaws in Liverpool's game this season.
But do you know why the high line don't work no more?
Because no pace for Van Dijk, no pace for...
It's not even that. Trent's in the opposition's penalty area with Robertson. So our high line's Konate and Van Dijk against 3 people. Yeah,
it worked when we had Van Dijk, when he actually had pace. And we'll get to everyone's comments as well. Everest, I can be confident about getting top. I can't be confident about getting top 4, but not top 6. I'm confident of getting top 6, but not top 4. Still a lot of games left to play, and fate can change. Yeah, that's the thing, Everest. Hope in your heart anyway. But I tell you what, we continue playing.
There'll be twists and turns in this.
Yeah, there will be a lot of twists, but we need to be there if we are to capitalise on it. But the mentality is the most to come out with this game, like we've already started out at the top of the show. It's the mentality in it, Kev.
Yeah, that's the thing about this. I know, like we're on a downer at the moment. It's a poor performance. It's a bad way to go. And I know the obvious is to turn around and say we're going to get destroyed by the rest of the lads in the next few weeks. But it's Liverpool, man. We could do this against Bournemouth, and then all of a sudden, yeah, we might go against Real Madrid, but then we could come back and maybe get 2.
Liverpool of old, Kev. And chat.
And
how many times under Rafa we'd do that?
That's what it feels like to me. It feels like it's a Liverpool that's just losing against block tactic teams, which are teams that just sit there and put a load of men in front of the centre backs and push the teams out to the wing and hope for the best. And I mean, the Bournemouth weren't even that great today. They just sat in positions and just cut off angles, and they weren't good today.
And Don Solanke looked like R9.
That's it. And the lad struggled against. He said himself, like I said it in my stream on the watch along when I was doing it, is that Jesus man Verge and he said he struggles against Giroud types players, which is players that like to get right up onto the defender, like to hold the ball up and turn, and then Verge just has to look where the next action is coming from. And there was so much like with Salah going off today, could have at least kept Harvey on and played him in his natural position, which is out the right wing.
I'm hoping he's not injured. Does anyone know if he's injured? Because
why don't get bringing him off? If you're going to change to the 4-2-3-1, you might as well leave him on to play him as the 10.
Yeah.
Instead of bringing Bobby unfinished Firmino.
Yeah. With Salah's contracts. Yeah, we'll round up here, chat. As well, we'll get your final thoughts in the comment section below, chat. As I said, the main thing I wanted to ask the lads and gauge from you is the mentality absolutely stinks the place out. Like, I'm hoping everyone gets reimbursed, and I doubt they will. But honest to God, hope those players went probably did. It's not like Manchester United over the last couple of years where they just walk off the pitch and all that. But it's all has to stem from deep-rooted, like, it all comes from the players. Yes, you can talk about tactics, and of course, are a massive part. But at the end of the day, we've been swings and roundabouts. We're going round and round and round. But first and foremost, it comes down to the mentality on the pitch from the players and the mentality from the coaching staff as well, in terms of how you turn up, first and foremost, to Bournemouth. But it's a massive 3 points. And as we said, lads, first and foremost, we can all sit here, all 3 of us and everyone in chat, they fully did deserve it, Bournemouth, well and truly. Obviously, I had Craig on the build-up show as well, and I said Liverpool have always got that performance in them, and even he alluded to. But it's what that does, and potentially, hopefully, it's a catalyst for Bournemouth for this season. I'll tell you what, they can stay in the Premier League. Obviously, they're out with where's my phone? Have a little look in terms of the relegation zone anyway, but that's going to give them a boost. That most definitely would give them a kick up the backside, really, and put them into gear. Where do we go from here, Mark? We've just got to focus one game. Yeah, Mark, I'm open. We're, as we've already discussed today, actually spend the next 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks on the training pitch and actually start doing some tactics and actually starting to defend set pieces, just doing a little the things that Jurgen Klopp and the tacticals people get actually paid for, because it's the same errors as the lads have alluded to that are creeping up week after week in certain moments. Imagine we get an April Fool's prank by Liverpool's team. Bloody hell, whatever. As soon as we missed the pen, it was finished. The mentality was gone. Yeah, 100% there, Jay. 100%, mate. But big up there, Jordan. Big up, mate. The speed profile picture, the absolute legend. Virgil van Dijk needs to give his head a wobble as well. The fraud still thinks he's boss when he's seeing the gaff out week. And yeah, we more or less mentioned that, Jay, but apologies, just jumped in, mate. Obviously, just rewind the show. We more or less did say that. Typical Liverpool do this to our fans. The midfield was way too light for the type of game. I was obvious the Cherries were going to bully us. Top 4 is over. Big up Laser. Now, obviously, it's great to actually see YouTube recommending us to actually some new Reds as well. So if you are new round here, obviously, Mark, if you can put the lads' channel links in, Ricky and obviously Kev's channel links in the description. But yeah, 100% there, Laser. We'll get to 2 lads' closing points arguments, really, Kev, and we'll get to Ricky. Really just your summary of today's performance, mate.
You've got 3 weeks ahead, Klopp and his compatriots. He's got 3 weeks ahead to put in some sort of simplified 4-4-2 formation or some sort of 4-2-3 formation that can alternate between a 4-3-3 and get it right if they need to switch it up in the game. Put in tactics that are going to be at least viable to play against teams like Bournemouth, where you're going to have to pack 3 guys in between their lads and force your win there, create spaces for other lads, So every time, make sure there's a player inside or like Gakpo, which he did it kind of well a couple of times today when he moved into the centre of the park. He came in the middle, he received the ball, and he dragged 2 or 3 players in the top of him, which released space for the lads on the right and left. And more of that, please, because I didn't see any of it in the first half. After we missed the penalty, I didn't see much of it at all. The
game passed us all by.
Yeah,
anyway. We had like 90 minutes still left.
I'm at a point in my head. I forget which way we were playing in both halves. So the game just seemed to fly by out of boredom, really, rather than anything else. I was sitting there on the street going, "Hang on a second, is that a minute to go before half time?" It only feels like it's about 16 minutes into the game. It just felt, even though it sped by, it felt like it was dragging. It's just, I don't know, man. For me, he needs to get on the training pitch. He needs to start sorting out some extra tactics. I mean, you've got managers like Ancelotti that have 4 or 5 tactics per game that know what they're doing. You have you're going to be coming up against that on Wednesday night in Real Madrid, and it's a test. But after that game, you've got a multiple 2 or 3 weeks of sitting there and just doing it right. Get the right players for the right position. I know Luis Diaz is going to be back. He's definitely going to be back for the City game. But that's a Luis Diaz that's been injured for months upon months. Jota's not even back after coming back, if you know what I mean. So he's nowhere near the level that he was at. I know you're going to be talking about, you're not probably going to see the real Luis Diaz until next season again. So we can't be reliant on the fact that we're going to have these fellas coming back. The team that we've got now is the team we got to do it with. And yes, it's a bad result today. I still think top 4 is up for grabs because of how Spurs play, because Newcastle are capable of losing. And I think the top 3 are just going to run away with it that way. What I'm worried about is if Chelsea start coming into a bit of form, Brighton will be up and down. They'll start creeping up and down, and then you've got problems. And so we need to beat them no matter what. And we need to get to some sort of positive results against Arsenal and City. And if we do that, then I think, okay, we're looking on the more positive side again. 13 out of 15 points before we came into this game is a good turnover from what we were doing at the start of the season. But yeah, this is just another Crystal Palace blip. But this time it's with a lost no points whatsoever. Just get over it, forget about it, and move on. If you don't, we're going to be playing this way for the rest of the season.
Yeah, Rick, get to your closing point in a sec, mate. Let's get to everyone's comments before we do round off. Chat, we're only on bloody 11 likes. Go on, get those likes up, everyone, before we do shoot off, and obviously subscribe. Obviously, make sure you do head over to Ricky and Spider's channels there. So please do head over, subscribe to the lads. They've got Ricky. Have you done your post match tomorrow or this evening, miss?
I think I'm doing it tomorrow, but I don't know if I can be asked with YouTube in a minute.
Yeah, we go up there, but we'll get to everyone's final comments here. Jay, I love Virgil, but he needs to start being proactive in defending now. Just can't just hope people still think he's the same guy he was before the injury and don't attack him. Yeah. If I'm a Premier League attacker chat as well, like all of us, as we've said tonight, you're looking at Van Dijk and you're literally, especially if you get literally, say, a Matoma, or you get your quickest player on Van Dijk and you just go behind the back of him. If I was him, it's a simple tactic. Route one ball, especially with Liverpool playing a high line. And Joe, I'm not too sure what you mean with like call speed, but I don't
That's
know.
your man, that speed fella, the YouTube fella, is it the annoying fella who loves Ronaldo?
I love speed. He's funny.
I don't know. I don't watch him at all.
Yeah, but
that's the old
Jordan,
man,
I'd love to get speed on a video. So if you know him, or if you got, yes, imagine doing a post. I'd love to actually do a post match of the United game with him, but yeah. Final thought was today was that we go again. That's all we can do. You never walk alone. Great team, lads. Chin up. And that's the positive thing in a pan of, well, it's annoying. It's frustrating. Bloody hell. Does our bloody head in. We need to go to Madrid and score. Now, don't care if we lose. We just need to show some fight and come back. And from them 3 games for death, 3 games of death in a row, we can go back after the break. Yeah.
If we actually do something against Real Madrid on Wednesday, this will be forgotten about.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be in the back of our minds, not by us, but it'll be forgotten about by just the fickle amount of fans, and they'll just move on for the rest of the season. But we know that there's complacency there.
It's the most Liverpool thing, though, Ricky, innit? Yeah. But wait, that's the deludedness in us all, though, to actually think that we're going to go there. Ricky, closing thoughts, mate. And it's disappointing. Where did Liverpool go from you? Kev alluded to the tactics. Liverpool actually started to really look at actually a team that has got, not just, as you alluded to, Ricky, before, not just having one tactic, but we need a plan B, plan C, plan D. We need to actually start doing what we're paid, the Jurgen Klopp and the tactical team actually pay for. We
need the season to end today.
What's the thing, though, Rick? If it ends today, we're just going to be coming back next season, the exact same Liverpool.
Well, apparently we're getting investment and we're rebuilding in the summer, so I can't wait to see this.
It's going to be some midfielders that are actually coming in, Rick.
Is that the lads that pulled out of the United deal, is it?
We're getting it's all PR machine anyway. Yeah. We spoke about the media last night, Kev, didn't we? Yeah. The club, it's all teed up perfectly, as we know. It's literally Liverpool have a couple of good results. The PR machine that is Liverpool Football Club. Gets the machine. You anticipate. You can more or less script what after the stories that come out.
We beat Man United. Old John Henry sits down in his chair and does an interview. We lose to Bournemouth. You won't see John Henry. We'll get spanked by Real Madrid. You won't see John Henry. We'll beat City away, you'll see John Henry come out and do another interview. We'll get spanked by Arsenal. You won't see John Henry. I can't wait. This summer is pivotal. If we're serious about next season. I don't think
massive's not even a word, Rick and Kevin. Just
it's going to be interesting
beyond
to see
massive.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see listen, Jude Bellingham's a dream, mate. We're not getting Jude Bellingham if we miss top 4. And we have no cash, so we'll probably go sign a couple of cheap centre midfielders from the Bundesliga,
and then they'll become like in injury crocs,
and we get Mason Mount, who will be on a higher wage, and he'll be absolutely terrible. He'll be like Joe Cole version 2.
Right, enough. There we go. That sounds like we want to jump off. We all want to jump off.
Yes,
anyway, yes. Enough of the Reds being absolute rubbish. Disgusting, and I'm hoping the Liverpool team are actually walking all the way. I swear, if they actually get a private jet all the way back to Anfield, they don't even deserve a private jet. They deserve a very, very long 5-hour coach journey back to Anfield after that performance, in all honesty. But you know what? They'll get a jet or a private jet, and it'll be like, a half an hour plane journey or an hour's train journey anyway. But yeah, more money. But yeah, But, chat, a massive thank you for all the continued support, as always, chat. Obviously, we could have been going on for the next 2 hours about individual performances and all that, but as I said, summarised Liverpool being Liverpool yet again, taking us back to all the Rafa days where you'd beat United one week and then lose to Bournemouth. Like you draw to Portsmouth or draw against Derby or someone.
It's a collective
stupid.
mindset thing, Jack.
Yeah.
Everybody
mentality.
came.
That's what
People
it
that
is.
came on and off. People that came on and off that pitch, and the
Mentality.
substitutes had the same mentality when they came off the pitch that they were
Yeah.
just there to kind of walk over Bournemouth and not to fight for anything. That's a collective thing. It's, you know, even though some individual errors are worse than others, it was completely collective today.
But yeah, big up there, Mark. Big up to every single one of you. Yeah, absolute legends. Big up Jay, big up Mark, big up Ricky, and obviously Kev jumping on the podcast tonight. Big up Jordan, big up Laser as well. Big up every single one of you. Apologies, and Everest as well. And I said, obviously, Everest, you didn't get your job, mate, but I know you will get one sorted, mate. Keep at it. There is a job out there, and your perfect role will appear. Just keep at it, mate. I believe in you. Overs in chat too as well, mates. Keep your head up, fella. And yeah, Reds. Same Liverpool, but we're not surprised. But Reds, enjoy whatever you're doing this weekend. Forget about how rubbish we were. Just enjoy it with your friends and your family and all that. And yeah, disappointing. But Liverpool, Jesus, get your act together, boys, because it's going to be a very long season if it's very stop-start natured again. But Reds, up to the heads. We go again. After Real Madrid, we got a 2.5 break, 3-week break. But come on, boys, actually start working on your tactics. Up to the heads. Ricky, Kev, chat. Have a lovely rest of your night. Enjoy your weekend. Well, make sure you do as well.